Millions of dollars in federal funding will no longer be available to Wisconsinites next month. Thanks for joining us at 5. I'm John Stofflet.
And I'm Maria Lizignoli. There are less than 3 weeks left until the state's utility disconnection moratorium comes to an end.
NBC 15's Shayna Nijawan spoke with Alliant Energy about how customers can still apply to receive financial support even after that moratorium ends on April 15th.
Temperatures in Wisconsin can be very cold and difficult.
Wisconsin winters can make it difficult for residents to keep the heat on. That is why the state allocated millions of dollars in funding to assist residents in paying overdue utility bills.
November 1st to April 15th, where customers are protected from any sort of disconnection of their utility service.
The necessity to have those services in place at that time.
But with the winter moratorium coming to a close, Alliant Energy is reminding residents they are not alone.
Colder weather always brings up that increased need. Same thing in the summer, when it starts to get warmer out and you're cooling a little bit more, there's a bit more of a need. And we know that there are a lot of customers out there who are struggling.
There are additional ways to receive support. Manager of Credit Collections, Veronica Stober, says the Home Energy Assistance Program helps eligible households with heating and electric bills.
It's been a cold winter, right? So with that cold weather, energy usage goes up. So we know some of those bills can be a bit of a challenge for our customers, and these funds can help them out.
Stober says over 200,000 Wisconsin households received support through the program last year, and that help isn't going anywhere.
It can really be a life changer for customers, especially those ones who are struggling and their budgets are just, a little bit tight. It's something that can make a difference in a life.
Shayna Nijawan reporting. Alliant Energy also urges customers who are struggling with utility bills to reach out about payment arrangements, which can help get those bills back on track. Visit AlliantEnergy/EA options to find out more about energy assistance.